when opportunities present, you take full advantage. No caravan. They've gone out. They're on holiday except for the boy. Don't care about him. So I was going to do this Monday, but I think today is the day. I've already marked it out. I've already put one cut in. I've got to cut all the way around the top, and then I've got to disconnect all of the P-clips that you can see, and then I've got to slice out as much of that middle bit as possible, but I want to do that from the inside edge, not the outside. I have to be very careful. The idea is that bonnet line there should slot down onto that. Now I'll be honest with you, it's all over the place. Even with this, it's still all over the place. I'm going to try and wire brush all that filler off, and I'll try and tap it up with a hammer and dolly, try and straighten some of that tin out that I put in. We've got to put a relief cut in along here anyway, because we've got to pull that bit out, we've got to pull that bit up and then put a fillet in order to get the different angle that I've got on the corner to what I have here. Now I could cut here and bring that out and that out, but I don't think it will look right, and that will interfere with the door line. What I plan to do here is I'm going to cut the whole lot out, all of it, and I'm going to put a piece of angle iron welded in there. I'll reshape the angle iron like I did on the side of that door. I'll put a second piece in, do the same on that one, do another one down here that represents the line that's going to be across to there, because it will start off with a sharp curve. It will go a little bit straight because it's got to bow out a bit, and we'll go from there, and we'll put box steel frames across, and we'll bolt them in possibly. Actually I might weld them into there, but we'll definitely have to bolt it onto there for obvious reasons, and then we can make up a new grille once the bonnet has been set. All I plan to do today is to cut that out. I've got to find some kind of hinge system because I'd like to hinge that straight up, because plastic sheet is getting on my nerves. Not only that, it will give me a guide. I was going to lower that radiator, but I think that radiator is now sitting exactly where it needs to sit. So hopefully we'll get the angles all right and correct. I did measure. I can't say this is going to be perfect at this point in time. So I'm going to have a quick cup of coffee, and then I'm going to get in there and get that cut as quickly as I possibly can. So we'll cut along that line, and then we'll cut around the outside edge, and hopefully then it'll give me access to the inside area where I might be able to take all of that horrible metal out that I put in, and take that right back. I'm hoping I've only got a cut around here which will line up to that. I'm hoping I've got the other side right, because I moved the bonnet before I put that bottom line in, so I've had to measure off from this point here up on this one and duplicate over that side. So who knows, it's all hit and miss. I told you from the very beginning it's been all hit and miss, just a bundle of experiments. If it works, then we're great, we're good to go. If it doesn't, well, we're screwed. Can't cry about it, can you? Well, that first bit's gone. I'm going uphill at the moment because I've got that bit to get rid of as yet. But hey, look, I'm glad I left that. That's the original Morris Minor scuttle area. That's the bit that sits under the bonnet. I'm pretty pleased about that, because I can make up a plate to run along here. So if I pull that all out and neaten it all off, I could get some metal and just run that along and weld it to this carefully, and that will sit where it needs to sit. So I'm quite excited about that. All I can say to it is I can't believe I left that behind. What a cowboy. Yeah, but that's left me with a bit of a challenge now, because we've got to get that out now. There's fiberglass on that side and there's this on that side, and from what I can work out, I struggled with that, if memory serves, so I've got to be very careful how to remove that. I'd like to plasma cut it out, and I've only got one cutting disc left, and I'm in a lazy mood today. I don't really want to go and get some more. And the other beauty of having this in place as well is the new line that goes along here can start here now instead of out here, because I've still got that bit of bodywork, so we can cut that off, but we can also cut into that area, and we can cut all the way down I'm pretty excited about that. That's really good. That is going to be really helpful. Okay, I've cut the bonnet line on the bulkhead. It's still sitting too high. I've got two choices here. I either risk weakening this and take that down, this alley lip, and get it lower, maybe reinforce it with something like some flat plate or something, I don't know, or I cut the original Morris Minor bulkhead out, which I don't particularly want to do. We've still got a little bit more playing around to do because I got my angles and lines completely wrong, as you do when you're me. I put a temporary mudguard on there just to give you an idea of what I'm playing at. Bear that in mind that this is also going on. Do you see where this is going now, some of you? All of this has got to be cut out and removed, all of it. So we can probably slice out here and cut it there down and then replace that whole area. And I mean, the other thing we can do possibly is to lift this up, you know, pry that up in the air and then lay it flat, put a flat piece in there. I mean, that might even work if I can get something under there to pry it up, and then a layer of filler or something. Who knows? I think that's about as close as I'm going to get it. Lots of fiberglass been peeled off. So yeah, okay. Today was a bonus. I wasn't expecting to be doing this today. There's nothing more I can do to it now. I mean, I could, I suppose, cut all of that out, but I'm worried about weakness. I really would like to get that bit built up first before I start tearing into this. There isn't much, tripping over everything. There isn't much strength there once I've cut that doorpost out. Although I'll be leaving that piece and replacing it, putting a piece of angle, but I don't have much to weld to, as you can see. It's a bit rotten. It's got a lot more rotten since it's been sitting around. I mean, I've done all that window frame. I filled all of that, welded it all up properly, filled it, rotted. Bloody stuff. So yeah, you kind of get it, don't you? In fact, if I've got to change this angle, I might as well lift this anyway, or even cut it all out and replace it with new metal so it goes down, so all the water will run off this bit here then and down instead of down the bonnet, which isn't a bad thing in the context of stuff. So yeah, pretty pleased with this. Absolutely sweating. So we'll scrap that bonnet back to alley, and we'll buy some more alley to fill in the sides. That's going to be fun. The English wheel is going to get used for that. I've never used one before in my life, so this will be interesting. The hole at the top, I'm half debating at the moment about having the water bottle there for the radiator. Half debating. I would like to have the front bonnet hinged that all lifts out, but I don't know if that's going to be possible to do. There are hinging points on the top of that bonnet, so it might be a better idea to do this. Might be better in the long run. So there you go. Just to help you further with what's happening and how it's happening. Now me and the wife have had a bit of a change of heart, because we were talking about putting the box on the back to make it look like a Morris van, but I think we might actually not do that. I'm looking at the cost of it and the time expansion of it, and I'm wondering actually if it's cheaper to get a rear pickup body, because I've looked at a load of those and they've got a massive overhang and the wheel is set towards the cab area, and he's got one, I've seen one in the yard actually, where the wheel arches are completely rotted out and someone's cut the wheel arches to get bigger wheels in. I don't think anyone's going to buy that off him. I think that's going to get scrapped eventually while it sits there. In fact, I think he knows that because he's started stacking stuff up inside it. So I'm debating about seeing how much I can get that for, because I'm sure it'll be cheaper than one that hasn't been messed around with. And if my memory serves, I think it's a Ford, oh hell bells, I've forgotten the name of them. Oh, pickup truck Ford, I can't remember the name of them, one of them, and I believe it's got a fiberglass lid on the back as well, so that might be a better option for this, because what I can do is I can shorten it to fit that gap and then cut the wheel arch out that's left that I haven't used, and I can actually graft it into that and then join the two halves, join the back with steel and join it on, and then weld it all in, and obviously cut all of this away and panel it all off inside with another wheel arch, which means my poor old speakers are going to have to get shifted, because that ain't going to work anyway, let's be honest about it. So yeah, it's just another option. It might be less work, more money, or it might be more money, more work, or it might be less work and less money. I don't know till I have a word with them and have a proper look at this thing, because I saw it down there about, not this week, last week. So the lines are pretty damn close. I'm not pulling the welder out today. There's absolutely no point to it. It's too windy. I think we've pretty much established where this is going. I believe at this point there's not much more I can do. So we now need to turn our attention to the back. And we need to cut that back off, detach those lights, and start cutting stuff up ready for scrap, which is those wings. They're going. The back is going. Although I will be cutting my bead roller work off, and that bonnet is going. So next week I think I'm going to take stop work at this point and have a wee clean up, because there's rubbish everywhere. I'm fed up looking at it. So subject to how many views we get on last night's upload, which was aired this morning at 11. I'll see what it's like tonight, which is Saturday. If that gets over 50 or close, I'll upload this one. Definitely upload this one. I'm quite excited about this, if I'm honest. I really am, actually. Yeah, I'm itching to get into it now. Now I can see where it's going and how the lines are going to work. I used the pry bar to lift up that steel there, so we really need to get rid of all that filler on there and pry it up a bit more, neaten it off, and then we can run a piece of metal across, and that is literally how that's going to go. Here we'll cut that bit there out altogether, and we'll rebuild up to that line there, and then we'll put a piece of steel in that will go across, and we'll build up the radiator frame with that radiator. I think we're good to go on that, but I am going to take that fiberglass shroud off because that's rubbish. It's not really working out. The fan, we'll get a couple of small aftermarket fans and we'll fit them in the front to blow through. I think we'll be fine with that, to be honest. There's not really much else I can say or do apart from pack up now. Quite happy about this. This has worked out better than I thought it would. I wasn't really sure that this was going to be 100% success. Well, it isn't at the moment. We ain't mounted it yet, but you know what I'm saying. So as long as we can get some steel in there, this piece of alley is going to have to be pulled out straight. I mean, on the car it came off, there was a rubber along there, and the piece of metal sat flat, so when you put the bonnet down, stop the water from getting in. I'm not going to be able to stop that from happening anyway. So I think we'll pull that flat and see what happens. Maybe we can extend this with a piece of angle alley riveted on, so it just brings the lip over, and then the bar that goes in here, that lip can sit on top with rubber on. That might be an option actually, and that will get me clear of that radiator as well. The bonnet has come out longer than I wanted. I really wanted it a lot closer to the windscreen than what it is, but we cocked the front up a little bit, so we're only 2 inches off. But with that angle alley, I might be able to retrieve that. I've just got to find something thin enough to do the job. I'm looking forward to this, guys, I really am. I'm not looking forward to the welding and the filling, but I am looking forward to it. We might have this on the road by the early spring of next year. The lorry I've put down because of the fuel costs. I can't see diesel going down, they want them off the road, so I don't know what I'm doing with that at the moment. As I said, anybody who want it, it's for sale. I haven't advertised it yet, I've not gone out my way to get rid. I am actually debating about getting a small van. I'm willing to do a trade for that, actually, subject to the condition of the van. Right, now we're definitely going. Thanks people, see you next weekend.